Another stitch and the wound is healed. Another dark secret is being revealed. Another bruise blue, a new cut opens, always so silent and words left unspoken. With a mouth that is shut and a mind screaming loud, constantly thinking and never proud. Cry one last time and lay down on the floor, looking death in the eye, we won't exist anymore.
Hi everyone, my name is Joya and I am a 22-year-old poet and waitress who lives in Norway, and today I got invited to talk a little bit about my poems and my book, and about some of my poems, and I'm just going to talk a little about, I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about myself, and yes, I started writing poems when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I've always kind of written poems, but it wasn't before 2014 that I actually wrote them to help me. Like, although my native languages are both Dutch and Norwegian, I don't write my poems in them. Like, very seldomly I write them in English. No, very seldomly I write them in Dutch or Norwegian, because I just feel like English is just, I can explain myself much better, and being able to get my poems out on paper, or get my thoughts out on paper, it was so nice, because now I can read back and I was like, okay, that was so dark. Was I really that far down? And I can see how much I've recovered. And after a while, my poems started getting a lot more positive. And last year, actually around this time-ish, December last year, I was able to publish my poems. And that was an even bigger step, because I was like, this is the end of a chapter. From here on now, I'm not gonna think negative ever again, which isn't always working, but my point of view there and then was, I'm not gonna think like this again. This is just an end of a chapter, and this has to be over, you know? And publishing my book was actually an attempt to make people understand mental illness a little bit better, and also for the people who think that they are alone in this, to say that you are not alone. Like, that's the reality. A lot of people have those mental illnesses and don't know what to do with it. And as cliche as it sounds, I just want to say that, you know, it does get better. And I remember that I hate it when people say that, because when is it gonna get better? I never thought it would, but here I am in 2020, and a couple years ago I didn't think that I would actually make it this far with my book. My book is called Survival Through Poetry, and it's basically a book that takes you through the different stages of my depression. One of them is, for example, called Never Enough, which is basically it's an explanation, or is my thoughts on when people constantly have something to complain about, or constantly yell at you or something, no matter how hard you try. So I wrote a poem, I think it was a poem I wrote back in 2017 or something, but it basically, another day and another test. I really do my freaking best, but the very best I do isn't good enough for you. You expect the very best of me, but I just can't, don't you see? I'm exhausted and so tired, I will never be admired. And it's just basically just like, you know what, don't care about what people say, because no matter what you do, you're not gonna be good enough for everybody. Like, there's always gonna be one or two people who hate you no matter what. So don't try to please everybody, because you can't. Just be yourself, and the right people will come along and the right people will love you for who you are, and for those who don't, then that's too bad for them, because you are an amazing person. Don't ever forget that you are an amazing person. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, as long as you are yourself, you will always be so amazing and so unique. I really do hope that they can actually change people's lives for the better. I'm not sure if they actually have yet, because my book came out less than a year ago, and because of the coronavirus that started, not many people have been able to get my book yet. So I do hope that my poems change people's life for the better, and they did for me. I feel so much better. And my book you can actually get at Bookscout. I think it's bookscout.nl. If not, it's bookscout.com, and you just search for Survival Through Poetry. And yes, that's where you can get it. And thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for listening to me for so long. And thank you